Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your 2014 yearly forecast reading. So I'm really excited to do this reading. I'm going to be using the Druidcraft Tarot to do this reading, and normally when I do a New Year's reading, I'll do a card for each month of the year, but this time I didn't really feel like doing that, and so I designed a New Year's spread for today's reading, and this spread is going to give us more of a overall look at the whole year, so we can understand the theme of the year, what opportunities we have, all that good stuff. And I'm going to actually be posting this spread on my blog, so if you want to give yourself a personalized New Year's reading, you can go to my blog for the spread. And that spread's going to be up on December 31st, which I think is a Tuesday. So if you're watching this before December 31st, it won't be up yet. But if you're watching it after, I'm going to post the link to that spread in the About section of this video if you're interested. And okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first card that I'm going to turn over represents the opening message of this reading. Okay, so this is often the message that, actually let me just focus this camera so you can actually see the card. That would be helpful. And I'm just going to zoom in here. Okay, so we've got the Hermit, and this is the opening message. So this is what your spirit guides want you to know going into this new year. And we've got the Hermit. And the Hermit is all about introspection, going within, and finding your own answers and solutions within yourself rather than searching outside of yourself for answers and guidance. This card is all about wisdom and recognizing yourself as a very wise spiritual being. So as we enter into the new year, this is a reminder to always go within when you need answers before you seek outside of yourself. So there's nothing wrong with going outside of yourself for additional, information and support, but you want to go within first. And I feel like there's going to be plenty of opportunity over the next year to do this. And your experience over the next 12 years is going to be so much more powerful, and there's going to be a lot more growth if you just remember that simple thing is to go within and consult your, I don't know how to say it, consult your higher self or your inner guru or your inner wise spiritual being. But this is just a reminder to see yourself as that wise spiritual being. And yeah, okay, so I'll probably come back to that card, but right now I want to move on to the next card. Now the next card is all about your goals and dreams for 2014, and basically how to go about making those dreams come true. So I'm just going to adjust the camera again. Sorry, I apologize for the horrible camera work here. Okay. Okay, so we've got the Lovers. Now, the Lovers is, I always see this card as a very energetic, very powerful card. And how it relates to our goals and dreams. Well, for one, I feel like a lot of us are going to have some goals come true. We're going to be able to, reach those goals and make a lot of things happen this year. But we're only going to be able to do that if there's a sufficient amount of passion behind those goals. So if you've set goals for yourself, or if you have dreams that maybe aren't really your own dreams, maybe it's just what you feel you should do, or you feel it's something that might make other people happy, but you don't truly have that real sense of passion behind those goals, then those are the goals that you're probably not going to achieve this year, and they're going to feel like a real struggle. But the goals that you have that you truly feel that real sense of authentic passion and energy for, those are the things that you're going to be able to make happen. And so again, this is a reminder, whenever you're trying to create something, or if ever you're pursuing something or you're trying to bring something into being, you want to check in with yourself and just see how passionate you really feel about it. Because when you have that energy, and in this card, the Lovers, it's a very, it's a sexual energy. It's a very passionate energy. And when you have that kind of, not necessarily a sexual energy, but when you have that sort of really alive, living, breathing, passionate energy about something, then you know that that something is worth your time and your effort, and it's definitely worth pursuing. So this year is all about finding, not necessarily finding your passion, but only following the things that you do feel passionate about and putting your time and energy into things that you feel really passionate about. Okay, so moving on to the next card, and this card represents action. So this is all about, just have to move the cards here. This is all about what actions we can make this year to make 2014 a successful year. Okay, and we've got Two of Pentacles. Now, Two of Pentacles is all about balance, and unlike the Two of Swords, it's not about choosing between two things. This isn't about making a decision or making a choice. This is about balancing two or more different things. So in terms of action, this year is going to see you doing, multiple things. You're going to be in multiple roles with multiple projects, multiple tasks, maybe, different jobs. And it's all about finding that point of balance where you're balancing everything. And when you're in that point of balance, you don't feel overwhelmed. You might be busy, there might be a lot going on, you might have a lot on your plate, but you're not going to feel drained and you're not going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel in the flow. And that's the whole point of this card, is that you'll be juggling different things. You'll be very active, but you're going to be in the flow. And it's about tapping into that kind of energy that lets you achieve things and get things done and enjoy it without burning out and feeling depleted. And it actually relates to the Lovers card, because the Lovers card is all about, finding that spark, that divine energy to put towards something. And then the Two of Pentacles is kind of about taking that energy and carrying it out in the real world. Okay, so I just want to look at this card a little more and see what else I'm getting from it. Yeah, so in terms of action, it doesn't really speak to any specific action except for finding ways to kind of juggle and balance the many tasks. So this year isn't so much going to be about dropping tasks. It's not going to be about simplifying things so much as kind of juggling different things, which actually kind of makes me feel exhausted now that I'm saying that out loud. This is about juggling a bunch of different things this year. Okay, so let's move on. I'm just going to adjust the camera again. Okay, so this next card represents the energies that are leaving us. So this is typically like the energy of last year, what last year was all about, and kind of the energies that are departing. And we've got the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is all about, actually this is an interesting card to be in the departing position, because Eight of Cups is about walking away from something in search of something better. And this card is about spiritual seeking. So 2013 for you was probably about searching for something, whether that was fulfillment, a job, a partner, but whatever it was, 2013 was about looking for something to fulfill you. And since this is the energy that's departing, as you move into 2014, this feeling of searching and looking for something is also going to depart, and you're going to feel more of a sense of I want to say permanency. There's more understanding, there's more wisdom, there's more confidence in this year than there was in the last year. So some of that, well, I shouldn't say some of that searching, all of that searching has been for something. It hasn't been wasted, it hasn't been lost. And 2013 was about finding out a lot of different things about yourself that you didn't already know. And, you know, in that searching for something, you also, you know, learn things about yourself. And now you have that wisdom, you have that knowledge to carry into this year. And this year isn't going to be so much about that soul searching as 2013 has been about. So that's kind of nice. It's nice to look forward to, because as you look at this card, you see the hermit-like character is climbing up a path. So if some of you have had, you know, struggles in 2013, I know a lot of people have. They've had a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles, and a lot of that had to do with I want to say like spiritual ascending and kind of moving up the ladder, even if it felt like you were maybe moving down the ladder or moving sideways. There was definitely an ascension going on, but you were in the like, if you look at the picture, he's in the bottom steps. You were in the bottom steps, and now as you move into the next year, you're higher up the ladder. And so that brings a whole new set of challenges to face, but also a whole new set of benefits and rewards. So let's move on to the center card. Now the center card is really exciting. This is the most important card in the whole reading. And this is the theme of 2014. Okay, so we've got Cernunnos, which is also known as the devil. So don't freak out, it's okay. It's not bad. This is a very, very powerful card. And actually, what's really interesting, if you look at the lovers, and I'm just gonna, actually, I'll just zoom out, because the lovers is the exact same couple. So the same couple in the lovers shows up in the devil card. So that's really interesting that we've got that there. And the devil is all about, or I should say Cernunnos. Cernunnos is all about the need to awaken and the need to wake up. So as you see, the lovers in this card are asleep. And then you've got this scary figure with antlers in the background, kind of looming in the background. So the theme of this year is about waking up. And over the last few years, I know a lot of people have been waking up spiritually and becoming more aware of themselves and aware of, you know, what's going on in the world. And it feels like this year, a lot of that kind of comes to a head. So there's going to be a lot more waking up, but also those who haven't woken up, it's going to feel more, there's going to be more pressure or more tension to wake up, if that makes sense. So, so the theme of this year is definitely awakening and awareness. Now, another meaning of this card has to do with the things in our lives that we are not aware of. So like patterns and cycles that have a really powerful hold on us, but which we don't necessarily feel in control of. So an example of that would be like an addiction, something that you're addicted to that has this powerful hold on you, and you might be aware of it to some degree, but you might not really be aware of how strong of a hold it has on you. And so this year we have the opportunity to become aware of those things and to break those patterns and step out. Now, everyone has free will, so it's up to you whether you do this. It doesn't mean you're necessarily going to do this, but the opportunity is there. That window of opportunity is open for you to do this. And this is a very powerful time, and I feel like this is going to be showing up for us on a personal level and a global level. So on a personal level, it's going to look like we might suddenly become aware of certain things in our lives that are having an effect on us, and then we'll have the power to change those things. We might become more aware of addictions or habits that we're engaging in that aren't very helpful, and we might actually be able to, once and for all, step outside of old patterns that have been with us since childhood, or if you believe in past lives, patterns that have been with us for many lifetimes. So this is, I get the feeling this is a very powerful card. So you have that opportunity to kind of wake up to that. And then on a global level, I feel like this card, kind of as I said earlier, was about people waking up and becoming aware of unhealthy patterns in our culture, in our civilization, in our world. So whether that is becoming aware of certain government things or certain laws or just destructive behaviors that have been going on for decades. And I feel like a lot of this is happening already and has been for many years, but I feel like things are sort of coming to a head. Things are building up, energies are building up. And this year I feel like things will definitely be sort of reaching boiling point, which sounds really scary, but I think it's also really, really exciting. So let's move on. And now the next card represents kind of future energies, kind of where this year is taking us, and opportunities that we want to take advantage of. Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is such a calm, peaceful card in comparison to the Cernunnos card. And it's interesting because the Four of Wands is all about home life, domesticity, feeling stable, being able to celebrate. It has this really like calm, grounded, lighthearted feel to it. And I feel like the message is clear in that while yes, we'll be, going through a bunch of changes and there's going to be some big stuff coming up, facing some of our big patterns and everything and stepping outside of that, we can still be safe and grounded while we do that. So it doesn't have to feel scary. It doesn't have to feel overwhelming. We're still safe. That's what the Four of Wands card is saying. Another thing I'm getting with the Four of Wands is that as we move into 2014, community is going to be very important, because Four of Wands is all about home life, family life, but also community and people coming together to celebrate, a common, some kind of common good or some kind of celebration. So I feel like 2014 is a big theme will be people coming together in celebration and support of each other. I also feel like many of us will have opportunities to be, I want to say mentor, not mentor, but like an arbitrator or what's that word? A mediator, that's what I mean to say. A lot of us will have opportunities to mediate within our communities. So to help people who, aren't getting along and aren't seeing eye to eye, to kind of get in there and mediate and help people reach agreements and see both, points of view. So that can look like, maybe doing counseling or whatever. There's all different ways that could work out for you. But that's definitely an opportunity moving into the future, is that you will be, at the risk of sounding dramatic, you'll be an agent of peacekeeping, and you'll be helping people keep the peace. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so I'm going to turn over the next card. Now this card represents any obstacles that might be standing in your way and how you can navigate those obstacles. Okay, so we've got Prince of Wands. Now, Prince of Wands has such a such a youthful energy to him. He's very energetic, very fast-moving, very passionate. And as you can see, he's riding his horse, and there is an obstacle. There's, a bump, a little hill that he's leaping over, but he seems to be leaping over it with ease and without any struggle at all. So what I'm getting from this card, the message I'm getting is that sure, there's going to be obstacles this year, but you're going to be able to leap over them without too much struggle and too much stress. So the message I'm getting is not to really even dwell on this card because it doesn't feel important. It doesn't feel like I have to go into, you know, obstacles that might come up and what you need to do. Just understanding that obstacles are part of the path, and if you're moving forward with that sense of you know, passion and purpose, and if you know where you're going and what you're doing, those obstacles are going to be much easier to navigate around. Now, if you're feeling kind of lost and kind of foggy on what your intentions are, then those obstacles can feel more confusing and more difficult. But the message I'm getting from this card is that the obstacles that stand in our way aren't going to be very big or difficult to leap over. Okay, so moving on to the next card. This card symbolizes the gifts that you will be using in 2014. So the talents that you finally get to express this year. Okay, so we've got Eight of Swords, and Eight of Swords is a very it's a funny card to get in this position, actually. Now, how I see this card all about, it's all about coming into your power and being able to get yourself out of a negative or a sticky situation. So being able to, you know, realize your power, realize your ability, and set yourself free, basically. Now, if you look at the card and ask yourself, how can this person set herself free? You see that her hands are tied, but she's standing by all these swords. So all she needs to do is like kind of rub up against a sword to like slice the rope, and then just, you know, take the blindfold off and walk away, and she's free. So it's a lot simpler than it looks. At first glance, you look at this card and you think, oh God, this is horrible. But then if you actually observe it a little longer, you see that things aren't that bad. So this is all about, I feel like this is about becoming empowered and stepping into your power. I feel like this is a gift that you've already had some practice expressing. And this year, it's more about helping others to do this. So helping others see their own power, or helping others, you know, get themselves out of desperate situations, or even just like negative thinking, helping people kind of climb out of negative thinking, and helping people navigate difficulties and times in their lives when they're stuck. This year is not about being stuck for you, but it might be for other people. And your role, your gift that you're expressing, is helping other people get unstuck. Not doing it for them, but kind of leading by example and drawing on your previous knowledge from the previous few years where you've had a lot of experience doing this, and helping people do the same thing that you've been doing. Okay, so as we move on to the last card, this is the final message of this reading. So this is the message that you know, your guides want you to know before you you know, embark on 2014. Okay, lovely. We have the Fool, and the message is very clear. I feel like as we step into 2014, it's going to be so helpful to step into it with almost kind of an innocent, kind of childlike enthusiasm. So a sense of, maybe not childlike, but a sense of adventure, and being able to step forward, maybe take some risks, you know, not worrying about the consequences or the future, but moving forward with that spirit of adventure. And packing lightly. If you look at the Fool, he's packing really lightly. He's got this little, whatever you call those things, I don't know, his little bag on a stick. And so as we move into 2014, it's important to pack lightly. Now, this can mean a couple things. It can mean getting rid of clutter and getting rid of stuff that you've been holding on to that you don't actually use or enjoy. So if your garage is full of a bunch of junk, maybe think about having a garage sale or donating it or something. But this metaphor of packing light also means kind of getting rid of a lot of emotional baggage. So that could look like forgiving people, or letting go of grudges. And again, it comes back to the theme of the devil and kind of stepping out of old negative patterns that have been with us for a long time, and kind of embarking on the journey of this new year with this newfound kind of sense of freedom. The Fool is all about freedom and feeling free and moving forward with that sense of freedom. So the Fool is not held back by physical baggage or by fear and doubt. The Fool is kind of skipping along, moving forward, having ultimate trust that things will work out and everything's going to be fine. And I just want to come back to the center card, Cernunnos, because I thought of a couple other things I want to mention about this. And Cernunnos ultimately represents forces in our lives and in the world that want to keep us enslaved. So this could be, governments, particular, if you think of consumer culture as being one of those things, particular ideologies or mindsets. And on a personal level, your own ego wants to keep you enslaved, and negative thinking and things like that. So this year is about breaking free of those things. So when you look at it from this perspective, it feels like this year is about freedom. There's an opportunity for freedom. And like I said, we all have free will, so not everyone is going to take that opportunity, and not everyone, necessarily wants to be free. And that can be a hard thing to accept, I think, as we move forward. But ultimately, the theme of 2014 is, stepping out of enslavement and embracing freedom. And we see this, reflected in the Fool, because the Fool is all about, embracing freedom and moving forward on his path with a sense of freedom. And another thing I want to point out is the Fool and at the beginning of the reading, the Hermit. The Fool and the Hermit are very similar. They're almost the same person, but the Hermit is like the mature version of the Fool. So the Fool is like that youthful energy who has, all the trust and everything, and he's really excited. And the Hermit is like the Fool having grown up. So I think that's interesting that we have those two parallels. And then again, I already mentioned the Cernunnos card and the Lovers have the same couple in them, so there's a connection there as well. So it looks like we have a really exciting year ahead of us. I'm really excited and I'm really hopeful. I really like the Four of Wands card. I feel like that's a really positive card, and I'm really excited to experience a kind of a greater sense of community going into 2014. So this has been your 2014 yearly tarot forecast, and my name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and if you would like a personal New Year's reading, so a private personalized reading for 2014 just for you, I am offering readings on my website, and I will post the link to that in the About section of this video. So if you're interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the About section. Okay, so once again, my name is Kate, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope that 2014 is your best year yet.